Hey, what's up, guys? It's John here again. It's my second video. Today I'm going to be talking about gaining muscle mass. And I'm going to split this into 3 different parts: nutrition, programming, and other random stuff. So, here goes. So, nutrition. If you haven't seen my first video, I'd recommend it since I go over tracking macros and everything. It's not really anything overcomplicated. If you're newer, you can lose body fat and gain muscle mass at the same time, but if you've been lifting for a couple years, you might have to be in a caloric surplus. So anyways, if you're smaller and you think you have a hard time gaining size, then the reason why is because you're not eating enough, even though you might think you are, which is why tracking macros is so important. So like if you're like really active and do a lot of running, cardio or something, then you have to eat like even more just to compensate. But another thing people do is a fail-safe method, where you just eat a ton of food just to be sure, which is fine, but the thing is you'll gain some body fat and you have to cut it out later. What else? So another thing is you don't have to eat clean, but it helps a lot. You'll feel better and be healthier internally. And if you're having trouble eating a lot of food, maybe split your meals up more. I can't really relate since I've never had trouble eating a lot of food. All I can say is tough it out and you'll get used to it. Last thing is to keep in mind that gaining muscle is really slow. If you're new, something like 15 pounds a year would be reasonable, which is a big difference, by the way. And anything else extra is probably body fat or water or something. Experienced people can gain like maybe 3 to 5 pounds a year, so yeah, it's really slow, but there's a big difference. So programming, honestly, can get big doing a half decent program, but there's some that aren't as optimal. Like if you're doing a program routine that like hits each body part maybe once a week, then maybe that's not as optimal. Like if you're hitting like chest for one day, legs another day, and arms whatever day, then you could probably do a lot better. I recommend hitting body parts like 2 to 3 times a week each. Using a program that has a lot of compound movements. A compound movement is a exercise that hits like multiple body parts at once, such as a deadlift, squat, bench press, while an isolation movement such as like a barbell curl or tricep push down that hits one muscle at a time. A metaphor I actually like using is that lifting is like sculpting, where using a larger, more broad stroke will develop better form, symmetry, proportion, and you'll just end up more aesthetic that way. A lot of times I see people like strange, unattractive proportions, such as big biceps and chest, but have chicken legs and messed up posture. Just be like all curled up like that because they're not developing like the back and legs and everything. So you really want a program that has lots of nice balance. So a typical routine for me would be like 4 to 5 times a week, with about maybe 4 big compound movements and maybe 2 isolations. I do things like upper, lower, or things like that. I'll link some routines I've done in the past in the video description. One more thing, soreness is an indicator of results, so it's just you only get sore when you're not used to doing something. So some people like to change up the routine a lot because of that. There's no muscle confusion or anything. You don't need to do that. Alright, last part. Random stuff. Strength size. So what people believe is that if you do strength training, you'll get a lot of strength and no size. And the opposite for bodybuilding. The actuality is that if you do strength training, you will get bigger, and vice versa. Because for strength, you need the size to support the strength. People who are heavier will actually be able to lift heavier weights. It's a correlation between that. And with bodybuilding, if you're lifting all the time, you're just gonna get stronger. It's like it goes hand in hand. So other things, for getting bigger and stronger, there's frequency, which is how many times you train, intensity, how heavy or difficult the lift is, and tempo and everything, rest period, how long you rest between sets, and volume, the amount of reps and sets you do total. By manipulating those variables, you can increase size and strength. Okay, so I almost forgot differences between strength and size building. Strength is generally where you try to get stronger by lifting heavier things, because if you want to lift heavy, you gotta lift heavy weights. So you generally use less reps and more rest in between sets, more sets overall. While bodybuilding, you try to tear up your muscle fibers, and so that way they regrow bigger. So that one usually uses more reps, less sets, less rest too. Cardio, that's also another thing I want to touch upon. It's actually helps a lot with bodybuilding. You don't do too much, and the theory of, or the myth that cardio burns muscle, that's not true. It actually improves your training capacity. So you train more if you do cardio, really, because you're in shape, and rest times won't be as high if you're not winded after each set, and it's overall really good for you. I think that's all for today. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see, and any questions and stuff, just let me know. Peace.